how I said just a couple days ago, first announcement was going to have to be...
This makes us wonder, when is the first Halloween Horror Nights announcement? Out of all the mazes right now, all the queues, or all the facades we have, which area do you think will be announced first?
Thinking this one.
Really?
Thinking this one.
Well, guess I was right.
TLEV Media, bringing the magic of the theme parks to your home.
From vlogs to interviews, TLEV Media is entertainment for all.
What is up, horror peeps? My name is Thomas. Welcome back to TLEV Media, where we are going to be breaking down today's first Halloween Horror Nights announcement for 2022. Now, this year is going to be very special. We're already seeing 3 facades, almost nearly complete. And of these facades that we're seeing, the first announcement comes from none other than the Mummy Cube. But we're going to get to that. Let's first talk about what was announced. Continuing with the legacy of bringing back the Universal Monsters, we are going to be having Universal Monsters collide. The monsters that we're going to be seeing, of course, are the Wolfman, Mummy, and Dracula. Now, the story goes that this bi-coastal experience will transport guests to the 19th century, with a trio of monsters seeking one thing: the Amulet of Ra. The Wolfman believes this ancient relic contains the power to finally lift his dreaded curse, while Dracula and the Mummy have nefarious plans to use it to bring humankind to its knees. With the full moon on the rise and a race against time, guests find themselves entangled in a bloodthirsty battle between the terrifying titans, and only one will survive. Now, from this press release, what I'm assuming is going to be coming from this maze is that we're going to be having, as we've been seeing in mazes like the one I'm wearing right now, at the very end of the maze, we'll see one of the Universal Monsters as the victor in this battle. So guests might be seeing Wolfman, or be seeing Dracula, or the Mummy. These are going to be one of these Universal Monsters are going to be at the end victorious over all. Now, it's very interesting that playing into the fact that the Wolfman is not actually a bad monster. It's not a nefarious monster. It's a poor man who has been cursed and he's trying to find a way to cure this curse. It's almost like he's going to be taking on this protagonist role in the battle against Dracula and the Mummy. Why do I say that this is going to be in the Mummy queue? Speaking specifically for Hollywood. Now, we saw, as we broke down in our last construction video, which link in one of these corners up ahead and in the description down below, we have seen the facade having the words Alucard Trading Co. Now, when I broke it down in that video, I said Alucard is Dracula spelled backwards, which it is. But also, as some of you have pointed out in the comments, Alucard was the name of the son of Dracula in the 1930s sequel to Dracula. This could just be an Easter egg, or maybe we'll be seeing another iteration of the son of Dracula in this maze. But as we have it confirmed right now, there's just 3 monsters. This being the 4th year in a row of a Universal Monster Classic, it's very fun to see that we are going to be having none other than Slash coming back for the music. Oh, I can't tell you enough how excited I am to have Slash's music. Exclusively to Universal Studios Hollywood, Slash is returning to score the music. Universal Monsters would not be the same without Slash's score, and it always makes Universal Studios Hollywood's rendition of the property so unique that Slash returns every year consistently with amazing scores. Last year's Bride of Frankenstein score was electric, no pun intended. But it was so beautiful walking through all these different mazes, especially in the first Universal Monsters, having the different monsters have a specific score. I'm just excited to see what Slash is going to do returning this year for another Universal Monsters property. Also, this means that even though the IP is going to be similar on both Orlando and Hollywood's events, the music and I'm sure the visuals itself will give different versions of the same story. So the storylines between John Murdy and Chris William and the creative team here in Hollywood and the creative team in Orlando will still be different, which makes that beautiful version of the same story told just slightly differently. It'll make them both so unique and must-dos when you're going to both parks. I can't tell you enough how excited I am to have Slash's music. I can't tell you enough how excited I am to have Slash's music once again in a maze. Every single one of these mazes would not be possible if it weren't for Slash's score. Speaking of these two events, we finally have dates for Universal Studios Hollywood. Now, as we already knew, September 2nd of this year is going to be the opening day of Halloween Horror Nights in Universal Studios Orlando. But we did not know when HHN Hollywood would be opening. Friends, I am here to tell you that we finally have an opening date of September 8th, the following week to HHN Orlando's opening. Both events end on the same day, being Halloween, October 31st. We also now know that Halloween Horror Nights is going to be having 8 haunted houses. Interesting that they are changing the name from mazes to houses. Of course, this could just be a typo, or this could just be specifically for this announcement, but seeing it on Twitter and also in this press release is very interesting. Maybe they're starting to lean in more into the history of Halloween Horror Nights, specifically as it is now represented in both East Coast and West Coast. Again, East Coast started Halloween Horror Nights and they called it houses. But here in Hollywood, because Not Scary Farm started before HHN Hollywood, we always refer to it as mazes, like as in a corn maze or a labyrinth. But in this release, we finally know that we are going to be having 8 mazes in total. We're going to be having 1 live show. The Terror Tram is coming back. An undisclosed number of scare zones. So this could be depending on how we're doing with COVID restrictions when it comes to September. But as it has been in the past, we've had something along the lines of between 3 to 6 scare zones. Would be pretty nice if we had 6, but I wouldn't hold our breaths. Again, we know the Terror Tram is going to be the only access to the back lot this year, as we will not be having any of the sets in the metropolitan area. It worked really well last year, and suffice to say that this is going to be something that Halloween Horror Nights here in Universal Studios Hollywood is going to test out for the next coming years. But let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think about this announcement? We finally have dates, we finally have an idea of what the outline is going to be. The live show is most likely going to be Jabberwocky, so don't hold your breath about Bill and Ted coming back. Are you excited to see the Wolfman return? The Mummy's grand debut in the Mummy queue, nonetheless. Any and all thoughts, let us know in the comment section down below. While you're at it, make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to TLEV Media for more Halloween Horror Nights updates. Of course, I'm Thomas. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.